The Sochi Autodrome is around some of the venues built for the games. Close barriers, but with 56% of the lap taken, we certainly won't be wanting for pure speed. A fit at the pinnacle of motorsport. Once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk briefly about Lewis Hamilton. Everything's on the line here today, and the title hangs in the be coping with all that pressure.
By trying not to think about the result too much. The worst thing you can do in this situation is think about all the what-ifs. What if I get hit going into turn one? What if I get a penalty? What if I finish outside the points? If you let any of those kind of worries get to you, you can't focus on the job. So staying in the right mindset will be critical today.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Kimi Raikkonen's perfect lap yesterday sees him start from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Ricciardo, a Red Bull. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Sainz, Grosjean, Hülkenberg, Perez, and Charles Leclerc. Alonso, Vettel, Kevin Magnussen, and Ocon, Hartley, Van Dorn, Marcus Ericsson, and Sergei Sirotkin. Gasly and Lance Stroll rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right, let's be patient going into turn one. We want to be in a good position for the rest of the race. Good luck. Alright, let's focus now for the rest of the race. DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone. Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the ICE. Be aware that we will start to see a loss of power. We're approaching the pit window. Second place, you're in second place. Raikkonen is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 1.3 seconds. They're on fresh hypersofts. Bottas behind. Our gap behind is 1.3 seconds. They're on fresh hypersofts. Your pit window opens in 2 laps time. There are 10 laps to go. You need to slow down before hitting the corners. We don't want to get a penalty. Raikkonen ahead, the gap is less than a second. We're dropping back by around 0.4 a lap. They're on old hypersofts. Their tyres are 4 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 37.4. Okay, we're reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGU-H. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep the temps under control. You're sat in P2. Raikkonen is ahead of you. The gap to the car ahead is 1.4 seconds. They're on old hypersofts. Bottas is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 3.6 seconds. They're on old hypersofts. Your pit window opens next lap. 9 laps to go. We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can. Okay, here's who we're really fighting today. Raikkonen and Ricciardo. It should be a few laps at least before you start feeling too many tyre issues. They seem in good condition for the time being. Box this lap, please. The energy store is getting worn, reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop. Daniel's in the pits. We're leading our teammate by 9.9 seconds. Okay, looks like you're running on some slightly worn rubber at this point. Should still have a fair amount of grip left, but be mindful, it's going to start falling away. Let's use some of this energy, increase the ERS deployment. You're leading the pack, P1, Raikkonen behind. The gap behind us is 21.7 seconds. They're on fresh ultra softs. The pit window is open, pit window currently open. 6 laps to go. The drivers we're fighting here are Raikkonen and Ricciardo. Okay, our main competitors in this race are Raikkonen and Ricciardo. You are in first position, front of the pack. Understood, stopping this lap. Radar is clear, weather is looking good for now. Dries seem like the best tyre for now. Only 1 stop to go, 1 stop left in this strategy. Your pit window is open, pit window is open. The gap to the car behind is 20.9 seconds. Go now. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Second place, you're in second place. Raikkonen ahead, they're on fresh ultra softs. Bottas behind, our gap behind is 21.7 ultra softs. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 5 laps till the end. Alright, we're seeing a loss of power from the turbocharger now. Loss of power on the turbo. Raikkonen is ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 4.5 seconds. They're on fresh ultra softs. Their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:37.2. Okay, the gap behind is 2.1 seconds. There's 3 laps of fuel remaining. Gap to teammate behind is 6.2 seconds. Okay, we need some energy harvesting. Reduce ERS deployment. There's only one lap of fuel remaining. We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix 2 soon. Yes, 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 we're on the podium. Good job this weekend, great drive, thank you.
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Fermé. What a fantastic race it was. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs. And that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
So, here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari, on the top step once more. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. It's a good result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I'm going to go for Sebastian Vettel. People have suggested before that he can't race wheel to wheel, but as he showed today, it's nonsense.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy? You must be happy with the result today. So talk us through what happened between you and your rival today. It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it? Appreciate your time.
Fantastic podium. Well done. Keep pushing like this for the rest of the season. It's time for us to renegotiate your contract. Here you can see the current deal. Once negotiations begin, the team will make you an offer. You can accept if you like, but I strongly suggest we push for better terms. We're asking for too much here. We need to make some compromises. They didn't like those terms. Let's try again. Okay, that proposal looks good. It seems all parties are happy with the deal, so it'll commence at the next race weekend. Great work rising to a tough challenge from your rival. You've come out on top for the time being, and there's a real positive buzz coming out of that. Let's see more of this.